it's okay, now, there was a time, if you think about it, you go back 40, 50 years, men, they would pursue, they would serenade women to get access to the good stuff, if you know what I mean. And the women would say, oh, let me think about it, and men had to work for it, right? Oh, I got lucky today. Oh, she gave me a kiss on the cheek, right? And now, now it's like, you know, Cardi B selling coochie for $1.95 a pound, right? That's it. It's so it takes the fun away from it. It takes away there's no thrill in the chase anymore, right? And I think that's true with anything that's good if it's an oversupply. If in a more serious context, if you take something that's pleasurable and you just and it's just dumped on you constantly, it loses its joy. Most drug addicts, for example, they talk about how great that first hit was, but then eventually they become an addict. The drug doesn't give them a high anymore. They just need the drug in order to feel normal, right? They become addicted to it, but they're not getting joy from the drug anymore, right? So it's the scarcity of a thing that makes that thing valuable for you. In fact, diamonds, a lot of people don't know this, but diamonds actually are not that rare. Did y'all know that? Diamonds are pretty common to the point where if you knew how common diamonds were, they wouldn't have much value for you. The reason diamonds still appear to be valuable to people is because De Beers and other companies, they deliberately restrict the supply of diamonds. They hide the diamonds. They're like, no, we don't want to give them too much, because you give them too much, they're not going to value what they get. That's just what it is. So where am I going with this? Well, if you go back to the original premise of comfort and pleasure, I remember when I was 19 and I thought about life, and I thought about how many of my friends said that I didn't have enough fun. And some of these were friends that they would smoke and drink a lot, and they would go to a lot of parties, and they would just always be having fun. And I still had fun, but I also worked very, very hard. And I remember just explaining that the reason I work hard now is so I can have fun later. I understood. I said when I at 21, I said, or 19, whatever. I said, if I work really hard for the next 3 or 4 years, I can have fun when I'm 25, when I'm 35, when I'm 45, when I'm 55, and when I'm 65. But when you are seeking pleasure all the time right now, you're going to have a lot of pleasure now, but you're going to have a really hard time at 25, at 35, at 45, at 55, at 65, because you're going to have to get up every day and do a job that you hate because you didn't make any sacrifices to put yourself in a better position. So this kind of balancing, I think, is extremely important. It connects to that eighth commandment about planting seeds for the future for yourself and for other people. It talks about just that income smoothing concept. It talks about understanding things like satiation. We were talking about satiation. Like, look, enjoy your life. Oh, I'm a big believer in finding comfort and joy and all the little things in life. If you don't have joy, then I want you to find it, right? That means sometimes joy might just come from taking more naps. Every morning I get up and I drink a ton of water, and I make sure I get a lot of sleep, because I found out, I said, when I sleep a lot, I feel better about the world. When I'm grumpy and tired, everything sucks. I don't like life when I'm sleepy, right? And then I also found out how lack of sleep is connected to things like Alzheimer's and all that, and so a lot of times we tell us, I think the one guy had a platform called Sleep is for Suckers, and I said, don't say that. That's not true. Like, you should sleep, because you can still, as long as you're using your time productively when you're awake, you can get plenty of sleep. Just cut the silly stuff out so it doesn't waste your time. Like, I take 2, 3 naps a day if I have to, but when I'm awake, oh, I'm on it. I don't mess around. I don't sit and have worthless, goofy conversations. I turn my phone off. I don't sit up here and just get into social media back and forth that doesn't add up to anything. No, no, no. I turn off all my notifications. So if you're trolling me on Twitter, just know your trolling is being almost completely ignored unless I happen to see it and I want to have some fun and I just want to clown you with a goofy emoji of a monkey or something just to say how stupid you are. But then I keep it moving. So it's not about taking time to rest and recharge and make sure that you are comfortable and happy in your life. It's really about being focused when it's time to really focus. And focus people, they get stuff done. They spend time on the things that actually matter. And I believe a lot of people waste a lot of time on things that are not going to get them to their goal. Figure out what your goal is. Be that guided missile. And it's something you have to reiterate every day. If you don't recharge that battery every single morning, have a process to almost like fine tune the laser, then you're gonna find that it starts to oscillate and it never goes away. No matter, even if you are on top of your game and you're 40, 50 years old, doesn't matter. You always have to sort of recalibrate. So every morning I get up, first thing I did this morning, I drank my water. I thought about who I am and what I want to be, and I meditated on the porch. I sat and took in fresh air and thought about how I'm going to kick ass today. And that's my process, right? So what is your process? How do you get your missile back on target? And make sure you have that so that you can achieve your goals, because life is short. Life is short. Now that gets us back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of planting seeds for the future. I think that when you talk about pleasure and comfort, everybody loves it. The reason we invest is because we really want to have pleasure and we really want to be comfortable later on in life, right? But then also investing involves a part where your consciousness has to have an awareness that goes beyond you and your pleasure and your comfort. And you have to think about, how do I create that pleasure and comfort for others? Well, that's where things like the estate planning process comes into play. I love Prince. I really do. I think he was great as an artist. I think he was great as an activist and a human being. Most people I know who know Prince, I know Prince's god sister, and they all speak very highly of him as a person. But where he failed, if it's true that he did not make an estate plan, this was a very bad economic decision, because people he does not even know probably made $100 million off of the fact that he did not have a plan. When you don't have a plan for your finances, then someone else with a better plan will come along and take all your money. Do you know that there are estate planning attorneys who literally fund their entire office off of families that don't make a plan? If everybody suddenly started making sure that they had good estate plans, a lot of these offices would actually go out of business. There are a lot, there are a lot of them that just say, well, people don't prepare. So when they're not prepared, they call in us as the cleanup crew, and we have to resolve all the disputes. And we end up taking just a ton of money in fees. And the thing is that the consequences tend to be bigger than just money, though. You get to the point where there's a lot of emotional damage that gets done. People that feel failed. That, gosh, daddy didn't make a plan for me. Now I'm out here struggling. Now I'm out here in corporate slavery. I'm slaving on this damn job because my daddy was a dummy. My daddy didn't have a plan. He wasn't a real man. He didn't think about the future. My mother thought she was going to live forever, or she was so scared to talk about death that she didn't leave any instructions. She didn't leave any recall. We have no idea what to do. So now me and my siblings aren't even talking anymore. We're already dealing with the sadness that mama dying, but now I don't even have my siblings anymore because we're all fighting over mama's money, because mama, for whatever reason, Jesus told her not to talk about death, and she didn't talk about it, even though mama's blood pressure is sky high. She got heart problems. She got all these diabetes, all these other issues. But for whatever reason, she didn't want to talk about death. So now we are in the middle of a big pile of crap. Thanks, mama. And if I made you feel bad, I am sorry. I cannot, because you don't feel as bad as your loved ones will feel because you didn't do your damn job. So if I made you feel bad, then good, because your kids are going to feel worse. Your loved ones will feel worse. The people you leave behind, they're going to feel worse than you feel right now having to hear me say this. And the only and so I will say this, maybe God sent me to get in your face and say, just do something. Make some kind of a plan. Write the damn email. Okay, here's where the money's at. Here's what. Just make sure that make sure you let Sissy control the estate because you could just do little things like even anything. Just say something so that they will have something to lean on, right? I mean, process again. I'm not telling you this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an estate planning expert. I will bring one into the Black Business School. I know we've been talking. I'm going to get on that. Okay,